Hey guys, Jesse here. Welcome back to another video. I just had to jump in right at the start of this video. I'm actually editing it now. I filmed it a little bit ago. I just had to jump in and kind of preface this by saying this isn't like my normal videos. This is a lot more talking than my normal videos, and it's kind of information overload. I'm just going to warn you now. It's actually going to be a two-part video, as you'll know by the title. I didn't originally plan for it to be two parts when I was filming it. But I just had so much footage that I couldn't fit it into one. I didn't want to edit it down because any information that I would be cutting out is still useful information for you guys to know if you're really looking to learn how to properly wash your car. So warn you ahead of time, a little more talking than normal, and it is information overload, but I think it's all good stuff to know, and hopefully you guys enjoy it anyways. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Jesse here, Bender's Mobile Detailing. Today, I'm going to teach you how to properly wash your vehicle. So we're not going to get into anything too fancy. We're not going to do the coatings and the waxes and the sealants and the tire and trim dressings and all that. We're not doing any of that. We're doing a very basic how to properly wash your vehicle using all the proper methods and techniques and everything. So if you're a professional detailer, you'll know everything in this video, or at least you should. But this is for the beginner or the at-home kind of vehicle enthusiast or hobbyist, someone who loves cleaning their vehicle, doesn't do it for a living, but just loves to do it and wants to make sure they're doing it the proper way. So in this video, we're going to go through all of the products you'll need, all of the equipment you'll need, and all of the tools you will need. We're not going to keep it super, we are going to keep it super basic so that it's not a huge cost investment just to be able to clean your vehicle, right? But we'll go through a few of the basic things that I think you need. Like I got walls and shelves of products all over the place, but we're not doing any of that. We're keeping it very simple to what's right there. So we're gonna walk through all that. We're gonna show you how to use all that. We're gonna actually do it on a vehicle so you can see it. And yeah, hopefully you learned something and enjoy the video. Real quick, before we get started, for those of you that do follow the channel, you'll notice this shop looks quite a bit different than my last video. So I actually emptied out my trailer. I have a mobile setup that I do mobile detailing in the summer, and now that it's winter time, I obviously don't need that, so I emptied out the trailer. Still kind of organizing some stuff. I got a hose drill that needs to be put on the wall with my hose on it. I got to paint a shelf to match that one and figure out how I want to work out of the shop yet. I had my trailer nice and efficient and optimized, still working on that with the shop. But anyways, let's get right into the video here. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so before we get started here, I thought it'd be a good idea just to do a little bit of talking at the start. I know you want to get right into it, see all the products, the tools, the equipment that you're going to use and how to use them, and we'll get there. I'll show you all that stuff. But beforehand, I thought it'd be a good idea just to go through a little bit of the why we do what we do, why we use the equipment that we use, why we use the methods and the techniques, all that stuff. And so basically the goal here, the goal is to get a perfect wash of your vehicle, make it as clean as it can possibly be, get professional results even just with basic tools while not scratching your vehicle. So what most people don't understand is that every time you touch your paint, you are risking scratching it. I'll put a couple clips in of showing you, shine a light on the paint, and right where the light meets the paint, you can see kind of almost like a spider web looking around that paint. And those are around that light where the light touches the paint. And what that is it's micro scratches in the paint. That's from, using brushes to get the snow off, or improper wash techniques, or just brushing up against your car as you walk by. It puts micro scratches in the paint. So what we want to do is we want to be able to wash your vehicle, touch it and wash it without putting more of those scratches in. So as an example, if you're, my age or older, you'll remember those car washes that we all used to go through as kids with the massive spinning brushes. They go up the side of your vehicle, across the front and the back and over the top, and they obviously clean your car. You don't really see those anymore, and all the car washes nowadays that you drive through are advertising touchless washes. So the reason for that, in my professional opinion, you're never going to get a perfect clean of your car without touching it. And that's the reason that those car washes existed. You need to be able to touch it to get the dirt off of your paint to get a perfect finish. But the reason now we're seeing all of the touchless car washes and everyone advertising touchless car wash is because those massive brushes actually scratched your paint. And so a lot of the stuff we do is to get as much dirt off as we can without touching it beforehand, because wiping across a dirty surface, getting dirt in your towel or your wash mitt and using that to wipe, you can put scratches in it. So we're gonna go through all the methods, the techniques, the reason we do what we do to get a perfect wash while putting the least amount of scratches we possibly can in your paint. So I'm gonna do a quick step-by-step of what we're gonna go through, and then we'll get right into it and show you what you need and all that stuff. So the first thing we're gonna do always is the wheels. So the wheels are often the dirtiest part of your vehicle, and oftentimes the wheel cleaner that you'll use, and we'll get to that in a minute, is the most aggressive soap. A lot of them nowadays are non-acidic, so they're safe on all wheels, but it's still a more aggressive soap than the regular snow foam soap or car shampoo or whatever you use to wash the rest of your paint. So the reason we do the wheels first, they're the dirtiest. If you clean all around it and you pressure wash your wheels, you'll get overspray and dirt onto the surface that you just cleaned. You don't want that. But also because of the aggressive soap, you want to make sure you don't leave any of that on there to dry. So by doing the wheels first and then washing the whole vehicle after, you're rinsing and washing so many times that you'll be sure to get all that off. So firstly, start with the wheels. Sometimes I like to do a few of the particular dirty areas as well at the same time with that wheel cleaner. I'll just spray a bit on the bottom sections of the door right behind the wheels, maybe the front where the bugs are collected, that kind of a thing. And then, so you do all the wheels, then you rinse all the soap off, get that done. The next thing we'll do is our foam cannon. So this is everybody's favorite part, but it's actually often the most misused tool when cleaning cars. So the foam cannon is really, I call it touchless paint decontamination. So you're spraying all the foam in your car, you let it sit there for a minute. It actually has, if you get the right kind of soap, the snow foam is what it's called, it actually has aspects of it that'll stir up the dirt on your car, and you let it sit there for a bit and then you rinse it right back off. So you're getting as much dirt off of the paint as you can without touching it, because every time you touch it, you're risking scratching. So you get all that dirt off. A lot of people, like I said, it was misused. So a lot of people foam down the car and then they grab a towel or a wash mitt and they start wiping. But that's when you get the dirt in there, and that's when you get whatever else in your wash mitt and end up scratching the vehicle. So foam it down, let it sit for a bit, rinse it off. Now we're ready to wash paint. So we've done all the dirtiest areas. We've got as much dirt off the paint as we can without actually touching it. Now we're ready to use our 3-bucket method. Well, 3-bucket includes a bucket for the wheels. So then once you get to this point, it's a 2-bucket method. One is a soap bucket, one is a rinse bucket. And you use your wash mitt and you go around and you wash the vehicle. So every time you dip into the soap bucket, wash a panel, and then you dip into the rinse bucket to get as much dirt out of your wash mitt as you can, and then go back into the soap and do the next panel. And all those buckets have grit guards in the bottom. I'll show you them as well. They're to keep dirt out of your wash mitt as you're dipping it in the bucket. And then at that point, you do your final rinse and dry, and we're pretty much done. At that point is when you can think about doing, your coatings, your waxes, your tire dressings, trim dressings, whatever you want. But whenever you do any of that stuff, you want to make sure you start with a perfectly clean surface. So now that we've kind of overviewed it, you have an idea of what you're getting into. I'll show you the products, the tools, the equipment that you're going to need, and then we'll do it. Here we go. Okay, so we'll get started here. Get into the products, the tools, the equipment. And like I said, we're going to keep this basic. So I got shelves full, bins full of different products and tools and all that stuff. I got them everywhere. But all you need to do a really good job is right here. So we'll start with the products. You need 2. A snow foam or a general kind of car shampoo. I like to get a snow foam because it's obviously a little extra foamy. And then a wheel cleaner. So you can see here I have the Chemical Guys Honeydew Snow Foam Auto Wash. I like it. I don't know. I find snow foam is snow foam. Anything works. However, this stuff, this is Double Black Brake Buster Total Wheel Cleaner. I have tried many wheel cleaners and found nothing as good as that. That is really, really good stuff. So yeah, people might argue with me about this, but in my professional opinion, you need 2 products to do a really, really good job of cleaning your car, and that's it. So the snow foam I have in my foam cannon. I haven't really shaken it. You can see it's pretty thick in the bottom there, but I usually fill it, I don't know, somewhere around there, not even that high with snow foam, and then the rest with water. You'll get an idea of how much foam you need for how thick you want it. It's all personal preference. A lot of people like to have their foam as thick as it possibly can be so they can spray a 3-inch layer of foam on the vehicle and have it sit there. In my opinion, it's kind of a waste of product and you don't need that. And like we said earlier, the goal of the snow foam is to spray it on and help it get some dirt off the car before you touch the vehicle. So if it's not quite as thick, you spray it on and it's slowly running down, I feel like it might grab more dirt and do a better job. But personal preference, the way you mix it. And then I have a bit of that in my soap bucket. So in all three, well, we'll get to buckets in a minute, but that's all we use the snow foam for. Some in the cannon, some in the bucket. Done. The wheel cleaner, obviously we use it for the wheels, and some of the dirty spots, like maybe the back of the mirrors. Down here is pretty bad. And maybe for bugs on the front. This one's actually not too bad, but we'll probably use a bit there. So that's the first product we use. I have it in a sprayer right here. And yeah, so that's all the products we need. Get towels, microfibers. So you need 3 or 4, I would say. You need a really good dry towel for the end. This is Woolly Mammoth from Chemical Guys. It's not bad, no complaints, it's pretty good. You need a good drying towel, a couple microfibers for the wheels, for some of the bugs, the extra spots that need the extra bit of work, and then your fourth one is just your wash mitt. So you want a good wash mitt. The way these are designed is that any dirt that might get in them kind of gets trapped deep down in these fibers so that it's not on the surface. You use something like this, you get dirt on there and you wipe it, you could scratch the paint. Whereas here, the dirt kind of gets trapped down in there and doesn't scratch your paint as much. And then equipment. So the only thing that you need that's not in this pile is the pressure washer. Mine is over here. Nothing fancy. This is, I don't know, 150 bucks or something like that at Home Depot. And I use this like professionally. This is the one I have in my trailer. I've washed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of vehicles with it. The specs on this one are 1.78 gallons per minute at 1800 PSI. You really don't need more than 2000 PSI. It's another common thing that people misuse, I think, is they like to get a 4000 PSI pressure washer, which is unnecessary. Some people will say it scratches your paint. It might, I don't know, never tested it. I don't particularly know, but 1800 PSI is more than enough. So beyond that, you just need your 3 buckets. Each of these buckets has a grit guard in the bottom. Wow, that water's cold. So this is a grit guard. It sits in the bottom of your bucket so that when you rinse your wash mitt, dirt falls through into the bottom. And then when you dip your wash mitt in there to get more soap, you don't pick up any of the dirt that's sitting in the bottom of the bucket. So all 3 of these have a grit guard in it. Let me make sure it gets back down there. And then yeah, we use the 3 bucket method, and that's very important because you have a separate bucket just for your wheels and those extra dirty spots maybe. Because again, dirtiest part of the vehicle, you don't want to start with that and then have that stuff in your bucket when you go to wash the rest of the vehicle. So you have a bucket just for your wheels and you have 2 buckets for washing the car, a rinse and a soap. So every time I come out of the soap, I wash the car, I'm going to dip my wash mitt in the rinse bucket, get as much dirt, just give it a shake, much dirt of there as I can, and then go back into the soap bucket. That's just to, again, make sure we're doing as much as we can to not scratch your vehicle. The only other thing you might need, these are my wheel tools. I keep them all in the bucket. So I wouldn't even say you need all of these, but this is, like this one here is my tire brush. Give the tires a good scrub with that. And then this little guy I use for some of the wheels that have very kind of tight crevices and stuff, and around the lug nuts I'll use that for. This one I use, again, get in those tight spots, but really you could do that with a microfiber towel easy enough. And then this one is for the barrels, like the in behind part, like way in here. But again, you could do most of that with a microfiber towel. I would say this one is a must because it really gets all that crap off of the tires, just the sidewalls. And this one for those tight areas that you can't get your fingers in. And that's pretty much all you need. So yeah, there you go. That's literally all you need. I bet you I have I'd say less than $100 in products, equipment, and besides the pressure washer, obviously. But besides the pressure washer, we got less than $100 of equipment into this. So for someone who wants to learn how to properly clean their car and do a good job, less than $100, you got everything you need to wash your car for years, pretty much, as long as the bottles will last. Yeah, and these do come in smaller bottles than that. Obviously, I use a lot of them, so I get the big bottles. But yeah, so we'll get right into it here. Start with the wheels and work our way around. Here we go. Okay, so I got you zoomed right in on the wheel here. I'm going to show you, like I said, first step, we're cleaning the wheels. Show you how I do it. I'll go in depth on it on one wheel, and then I'll throw you on a time lapse for the rest. But the first thing I like to do, grab your pressure washer and just give it a good rinse. The tip you use in your pressure washer is entirely personal preference. I like the yellow one. I'd say any one is fine other than the red one that shoots a straight bead. You could do some damage with that one. But yeah, so firstly I'm just going to give it a good rinse, try to get all the mud off the actual tread. I'll do as best I can to get up in the fender liner a bit with the rinse. And then just a good kind of get everything wet on the surface of the rim. So here we go. Helps when you have your pressure washer turned on. Jeepers. Rookie mistake. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as you can probably see, a lot of that brake dust actually came off with just a wrench, which I'm surprised about. I'm not sure what this is here. Oh, it's like it's cracking. You can get in behind the clear coat on the rim. That's unfortunate. Nothing we can do about that. But yeah, so that's kind of nice, although I wanted to show you how good this cleaner does on brake dust. A lot of it came off, but we'll get more. So then you take your wheel cleaner. Like I said, this is the P&S brake buster. So I just give it a good coat, the tire and the rim, bunch of sprays. And then the first things first, I take my tire brush and I go around the tire. And it's important you don't want to get the rim, like this is a pretty hard bristle brush, and so you don't want to scratch up your rim. So go around the tire and you can see the cleaner start to turn brown, even though there was no visible dirt on the tire itself. But do your full circle, careful not to scratch your rim up. Okay, and then I take I'm only going to use the tools that I told you guys you needed, which was your tire brush and this guy right here, and your microfiber. So I usually just give these a little spray, get them wet. Some people will fill their wheel bucket up with water. I don't like to do that. I just spray what I need wet. So start with this, get in around the lug nuts as best we can. They're pretty caked up. But yeah, so you get in those lug nuts real good. I usually do the full center cap around the lug nuts with this. And then there's not really a lot of tight corners that I'm not going to be able to get in with my hand and the microfiber. Like sometimes if they're real tight, I'll do a couple passes like that in all the corners, but these aren't too bad, so I don't think I need to do that. So yeah, make sure my microfiber is nice and wet. Get that nice and wet. Even hit it with a spray or two of cleaner. And then you just go to town, like however you want to do it, where you make sure you don't miss a spot. So I kind of like to do the outside ring first, and then I'll do all the faces of the spokes. That's unfortunate that it's cracked over there. We gotta be a little careful with that without making sure we don't crack it worse. Keep doing the faces, and then we'll do these inner little triangles. So I like to just do it in a system like that just to make sure you're not forgetting anything. So, yeah, we'll do these little triangles all the way around. Sometimes I like to use this brush around the valve stem as well. Just make sure you get everything in there. Get the triangles. And you'll see how much shinier these come out with just using a specialized wheel cleaner. Makes all of the difference. Okay, did the triangles all the way around. I am actually going to take my wheel woolly here and try to do a bit of the barrel. It's just you can't get your hand in there, and if you're doing a real good clean, you will want something that can reach inside the barrel. We'll get that a little wet. I like to just stir up that dirt a bit. You can pretty well get all the way around, even in behind the spokes, if you get a long enough wheel woolly. But yeah, just get a good, you don't have to get them absolutely perfect, tucked way back in there, but it's nice to get as much as you can. There you go. Now I'm just gonna rinse all the cleaner off. So as you can see, that is a clean wheel. It's really unfortunate that you can see, I don't know if you can see that, there's water moving inside there. It's like a plastic layer almost of coating over this, and it's cracked, so the water's getting down in there. That's really unfortunate. There's nothing I can do about that. It looks like it is actually like it hit a curb or something. There's a pretty bad ding in it, but other than that, that's a clean wheel right there. Sometimes I didn't do this on this one just because I'm focusing on the wheel, but sometimes I'll use a bit of wheel cleaner and spray it in the fender liner at the start, and then I let it sit there while I do the whole wheel, and then at the end I'll rinse it all off. Just like some of the dirty spots, I don't know what all the camera's picking up, but some of this stuff I'll spray it on there too and just kind of let it sit while I clean the wheel, and then when I rinse the wheel off, I'll rinse all that off too. It just helps when you get to it helps the foam cannon and the snow foam take a bit of that stuff off, but it also helps once you get to your full wash mitt wash. But yeah, so that's how to do a wheel. Came out pretty nice. I'm happy with that. Hopefully, well, here, I'll pick the camera up just to show you the final result. Should have done this before I started too, but you can see it's all nice and clean in there. And really the reason for that is just because we used a specialized wheel cleaner. That's why I think it's important to use that. And even the tire is a lot cleaner and darker black. So yeah, I'm gonna rinse that stuff off, and then I'll throw you on a time lapse to do the other four wheels, and we'll keep going. So we're finished up with the wheels. You can see there's no more grime and stuff tucked up in those corners. You got a nice shiny reflection. Looks good. However, there's a little bit of scratch on this wheel, unfortunately. It's weird. These wheels have like a clear plastic coating on them, and that's where it's like scratched. It's been hit or something. This wheel has a bad spot on it where this stuff is in behind a plastic coating. So I literally can't get at it, which is unfortunate. I've never actually come across that before where it's cracked. This wheel came out pretty nice. There's no real bad spots on this wheel. And then obviously the wheel I did the full tutorial on had that one bad spot, but other than that, nice and clean, which is good. And then I didn't actually film this. You saw it on the other side where I did go down the side with the wheel cleaner a little bit. And you can see just some of that grime and stuff came off of there. It's obviously not perfect, but it just helps a little bit with the more aggressive cleaner and the real bad spots. So yeah, now that that's done, we'll foam cannon it down, let it sit for a bit, and then rinse it off. Here we go. All right, so with your foam cannon, real simple. You just pop the tip of your pressure washer out, set that down. Any pressure washer handle will come with a quick release tip like that, even the ones that you get with the pressure washer. Foam cannon will slide right in. So you got a couple adjustments on it. The top one is how much air it mixes in with the soap and water to produce thicker foam. I always just leave that at the max. And then this one is your spray pattern, how wide or narrow you're spraying. I like to keep it pretty narrow. Again, that's all personal preference. You can mess with that. But yeah, it's pretty simple. You just spray it on, let it sit there, and then rinse it off before it dries. Doesn't really matter how long it sits there. But I'm gonna quick rinse this on, or put this on, and then I'll pick you guys up off the stand and show you kind of the thickness and talk about why I like maybe a little thinner than most people would. But anyways, I'll put this on and come get you. Okay, so as you can see there at the start when I was spraying it on, it just wasn't really mixed very well in the bottle, and so it came out real thin and all fell off. I gave the bottle a good shake to mix up the soap and the water in there, and it came out a lot thicker. But as you can see, it is still running off. You can see it dripping down there. And here, like, I'll spray some just to give you a reference. That's pretty much perfect for me, where it does stick there, but it is slowly falling down, right? So a lot of guys, for some reason, everyone's obsessed with the thickest foam. They want what's the most foamy, the most snow foam, thick foam, whatever. And I just don't quite get why, because like we talked about, the purpose of this foam is to get as much stuff off of the vehicle without touching it. So if you spray your foam on there and it sits there, I guess it works it up a little, works the dirt up a little bit, loosens it up so that when you pressure wash it off, it comes off better. However, to me, it's not a whole lot different than just pressure washing the dirt off without a snow foam, right? So this way, I like how it runs down. I feel like it maybe picks up a little more dirt and works it all up a little better than if it just sticks on there and doesn't move. That's just my theory. Truthfully, I don't like, I can't prove that to you. I don't know, I don't know how I would go about doing that, but that's my theory. I wouldn't worry too much about the thickness of your foam, and that's just the way you control that, is partially with the dial on top, but also how much soap you use, soap to water ratios and whatever. But yeah, wouldn't worry too much about it. As long as it's a good layer of foam on there, if it runs off a bit, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and rinse this all off. That'll get as much dirt as we can off of the paint without touching it. And that's when we're ready to actually do our wash mitt wash to get the vehicle to as clean as we can. So here we go. Alright, here's where I'm going to cut it off and send it over to part 2. So thanks very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be looking for part 2 of this video next week.